तो मेरे को एक बार किसी वाइज पर्सन ने बोला था कि भाई अगर तुमको इफ़ यू वांट टू क्रिएट वेल्थ इट माइट टेक यू 15 years, बट इफ़ यू आर इन अ हरी it will take you 25 years. When I'm asked, I tell people that if you don't know what to buy, you buy the market. There's nothing you're going to miss out if you have zero thematic funds in your portfolio.
Okay.
You should always even invest in a theme after it has done badly for 3-4 years. And I think, we are very bullish on small cap and mid cap. You don't have to get the best performing fund, you have to get the right fund. And according to me, you have to get consistency. Equity has gone from 1,80,000 crore to more than 40 lakh crores. So it's more than 20 times in 12 years. Last 3-year performance rank versus next 3-year performance rank. If you keep studying it over a time, there is no correlation. You need to be consistent and you need managers who are consistent. Highest return is not a good measure of performance. Consistency is what people need to enjoy compounding.
Hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of our podcast Bazaar and Beyond, where we deep dive on subjects ranging from finance, investments and more to help you make smart investment decisions. और मैं हूं आपका होस्ट विवेक अनंत. हमारे आज के गेस्ट मिस्टर आशीष सोमैया has over 2 decades of experience in the mutual fund industry. He is the CEO of White Oak Asset Management. पिछले 5 सालों से he has been driving White Oak Mutual Fund's investment philosophy and creating differentiated investment products. इसके पहले आशीष मोतीलाल ओसवाल AMC के CEO and MD रह चुके हैं for nearly 8 years. Thank you so much for being with us, Ashish.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So I wanted to start off with your journey in the AMC industry. You have seen it since the 2000 beginning and from where you used to charge exit loads, entry loads, and the SEBI has changed a lot of rules. How has your journey been? How have you seen this industry evolve over so many years?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of things have changed. I think this year I finished 25 years in the industry. And what I've seen is, like I said, a lot of things have changed. But if I identify the prime things, like the major, key changes or turning points, I think I would classify it into 3 parts. First thing which has changed is that, in the late 90s, when I was a trainee in ICICI, and I used to go and meet a lot of investors, right? In the late 90s, investing in mutual funds, investing in equities, investing in capital markets, I would almost say it was not even required. I'll tell you why. Because at that time, the interest rates were such, RBI used to issue Government of India relief bonds. There's a kind of series of bonds issued by RBI on behalf of the government to raise money for the government. You'll be surprised to know, probably if you don't know, it used to pay about 11%. And that 11% was tax-free.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And because it is the government of India, it is risk-free. So in India, in late 90s, the risk-free, tax-free rate was 11%. If you put money in the post office, and they would give you at a monthly interest, that was 10% annualized monthly payout.
Monthly? Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. If you take State Bank of India, I think the deposit rates would have been 10%. If you take institutions like HDFC, etc., they were borrowing at 16-17%. If you put money in company deposits, they were paying more than 20%. So that is one thing. Now today, if you see, what is the risk-free rate? The 10-year bond is 6.3% and there's nothing called tax-free, right?
Yeah, correct.
So that is one major change, which has caused people to constructively look at capital markets and equity. The second change, obviously, is digitization, right? Because today, and you guys are a great example of it, that, if I hear about you and I'm impressed with you, it'll take me like 5 minutes to become your client and I can start trading, right? Or investing in mutual funds. Back then, everything was like reams and reams of paper. You stand in a line, collect some paper, sign the paper, submit a form, then it will come back to you, right? So digitization, regulation, digitization, all of that. And the third thing which has changed, is like a proverb in English, which says basically that habits change with generations. So for example, today, a young 22-year-old, if you tell them, beta, आप post office में पैसा लगाओ, आपको 11% मिलेगा. पहले तो मिलेगा नहीं 11%, but even if it is there, बोलेगा नहीं कर सकते, इसका UI UX बहुत खराब है. Right?
Correct.
Not going to happen. So I think structurally the decline in interest rates, that has changed. Digitization, and the generation, people's education levels, awareness levels, their preferences, everything has changed.
How is the investor, say from when you started and today, how is their mindset changed? What is your insight into that?
See, I think obviously mindsets are built out of experiences and beliefs, right? So people, let us say, let's put it this way. They say when I was 25 years old, which is very, very long back, say late 90s. अभी जो आप OTT पे देखते हो ना, whatever is the Scam 92 or this Abdul Karim Telgi or whatever, those things are OTT for today's people. For them it's a story. कि भाई oh my God ऐसा भी होता था, right? But for me, I have seen it in the front page of the newspaper and I've read about it as it develops, right? So what happens is that where is the mindset different? In late 90s, if you were investing in the stock market, like I already told you, if you invest in the stock market and you lose money, people will say, "अरे government 11% दे रहा है, तुम stock market में क्या कर रहे हो?" Right? I mean, only people who had money to gamble, or only people who had finished all their investing, or people who were truly speculative, they would go to the stock market, right? Because if the risk-free rate is 11%, then who needs to go to the stock market, right? So people who went into the stock market to invest were actually, people who were risk seekers, who in some ways, it was considered to be get rich quick. It was considered to be speculative. And if you lose money in the stock market, it was concerned कि यार तुम गलत आदमी है, तुम गए क्यों वहाँ पे? This is 90s. Today, if you see where is the mindset change, today investing in the stock market is mainstream. I mean, everybody invests. And, if the market goes down 10, 15, 20%, like it has happened in, say, recent times, or it has happened in 2022, 2023, in 2020 also, it's, people understand this is a feature, not a bug. It's perfectly fine. I mean, today, if a 22-year-old puts some money in the market and loses 15, 20% down, like say market is down, I don't think that will be considered to be gambling. It will be considered to be part of the learning process. Right? Okay. So the regulations which we have today, the technology that we have today, and more importantly, people who are young today, their education, their socio-economic background, the knowledge levels, the country that they have seen, their expectations, the vision that they have. I mean, in late 90s when I started earning, we were a capital deficit country, we were a poor country. Right? Today, by and large, people who invest, their socio-economic background and education very different. So major difference in mindset, I think, very big difference.
How आपका जो experience है, you have worked with say Motilal, ICICI. अभी आप एक newer AMC के साथ हैं. How do you see that transition? एक bank back था, एक bank back नहीं था, broker back था. So उसका transition कैसे देगा? आपके career में कैसे आपने उसको witness किया?
So, it's not so much about which institution I worked with. I mean, of course, every institution has taught me and I am ever grateful to them. But specifically related to your question, it's not so much about which institution. It's a lot about which stage of the industry or which stage of evolution, where was I working and what brand I was representing, right? So, for example, in the late 90s and early 2000s, people didn't know much about mutual funds. Mutual fund was not it was not a category where there was a high awareness, correct? So what happens is that whether it is mutual fund or any product, generally speaking, when people are not very aware of the category, okay, which means that they are investing based on somebody prodding them and somebody pushing them. So in the late 90s or early 2000, if I went to a customer and said that, sir, madam, आपको mutual fund में invest करना चाहिए. So अच्छा क्या होता है ये? अच्छा इक्विटी में पैसा लगाता है, डेट में भी पैसा लगाता है, बट रिस्क है, कितना रिटर्न आया है? हाँ, रिटर्न लंबे अरसे में तो अच्छा है, लेकिन पिछले 1 साल में 15% डाउन है, एग्जाम्पल, राइट? 2002-03 में ऐसे होता था. सो दिल से यार ये तो बहुत रिस्की है. देन यू से वॉलेटिलिटी, ऊँच नीच, ये सब आप समझाओगे उनको. देन दे विल से ठीक है, मतलब नॉट कन्विंस्ड, बट आप बोल रहे हो तो कर देते हैं. Right? And because you are from ICICI, they recognize that, okay, ICICI is 40-50, even back then it was a 40-year-old institution, right? So when the product category is very low, awareness is very low, people will invest based on somebody telling them, educating them. People will buy a brand which they're familiar with. They will not experiment, right? Because in late 90s, early 2000s also, there were many brands which started mutual funds and they couldn't scale and they left. Right? But as the industry matures, see today there are more than 6 crore unique mutual fund investors, right? Anybody who's more or less anybody who is filing their taxes has more or less invested in mutual funds, right? I mean, there is wide prevalence. So today the scenario is very different. Today people have understood what is mutual fund. It's a category which is reasonably penetrated, at least where it should be. And because the awareness is higher, today people are understanding that, okay, this is not so much about the parent brand. This is not about whether I recognize the brand or not. This is about ability to deliver performance. This is about who are the people behind it, what is their competency level, what is the track record that they have built. So today what is happening is that in the early 2000s or late 90s, people were looking at who is the sponsor of the mutual fund. They should look at it. Today also they see it. But today people have understood that irrespective of the sponsor or the brand, right, it is more about the people, the competency, what they have delivered and what is their capability to deliver. So today also the big brands are the ones which are dominating the industry. Mm-hmm. But if you take a trend of last 5, 10, 15 years, you will see that a lot of people who are professionals who have started up, they have actually been able to scale. So let's say we launched our first mutual fund 2.5 years back. We are nearly 20,000 crores of assets in mutual fund and we do only equity, almost there. And we have 7.5 lakh unique clients. So what does that tell you? That tells you that people accept brands based on the people and the competency and the track record. So that is what has changed quite significantly from where I started and what I have seen 25 years later.
I wanted to move into the active versus passive debate and also thematic. क्योंकि क्या है ना, अभी मार्केट में इतने सारे प्रोडक्ट कैटेगरीज आ गए, स्पेसिफिकली थीमेटिक में जाएंगे से स्मार्ट बीटा, फैक्टर बेस्ड एंड एक्टिव वर्सेस पैसिव भी काफ़ी सारा हमें डिबेट हम देखते हैं मीडिया में, काफ़ी सारे लोग लिखते भी हैं. What is your view on it? How should retail investors look at it, specifically from the vantage point of having 25 years of experience?
So I worked, I have no biases. I have the advantage of the fact that I worked and created products of both types. Like you were kind enough to mention in my, generous introduction that I was CEO for Motilal Oswal, for example. Now you know that they are one of the most innovative, and I had some role to play working with the team out there when we were creating, marquee funds like say Nasdaq 100, S&P 500, and then the whole series of. So what did we do differently back then is that we created all index funds, not just ETFs, right? Because there is this notion that ETFs are for active passive investors, meaning people who want to trade and people who are concerned about live prices, right? A lot of time people say that you should buy ETF because the expense is very low. I don't subscribe to that because the expense is very low. That is true. But the reality is that the buy-sell spread more than makes up for the expense ratio sometimes, right? And ETF is the only product where, they say market maker, right? तो market maker का मतलब है कि market नहीं है इसलिए कोई market make कर रहा है ना. तो बाई सेल का स्प्रेड जो है वो उन्हीं की दे आर ट्राइंग टू नैरो इट बट देन इट डजंट कम फॉर फ्री द मार्केट मेकर हैज़ टू अर्न सो माई पर्सनल ओपिनियन दैट इफ यू लुक एट पैसिव आई पर्सनली फील इंडेक्स फंड्स आर ईजियर टू इन्वेस्ट फॉर retail investors. So in the past, I have created all index funds, not so much of a lover of ETFs. Now, but of course, ETFs or index funds, ultimately we are talking in the passive domain. And I think that, one should not have very extreme views like, nahi active hi chalega, nahi passive hi chalega. I think these extreme views are not really relevant. I think both active and passive, both have a place in people's portfolio. And I'll tell you why. If you take a simple example, you are a newbie, you don't know where to start. I often, when I'm asked, I tell people that if you don't know what to buy, you buy the market, right? Like one of the first funds in my previous role, one of the first funds we created was Nifty 500 and S&P 500. अब आप सोचो, ये सब फंड्स का मिनिमम इन्वेस्टमेंट 100 रुपीज़ है. अगर आपको 100 रुपया 500 रुपया इन्वेस्ट करके फॉर $500 if you can buy Nifty 500, which is say what 95-96% of India's market cap. And you can buy S&P 500, which is truly global companies. I think 40-50% of their profit comes from America, and 40-50% of their profit is global. So 500 rupees each, if you can buy India's market, and you can buy global bunch of stocks, what else you need? That's the simplest way to start your journey. So I used to always tell people, if you don't know what to buy, you buy the market. इसलिए हमने तभी उस ज़माने में जब मैं उस जॉब में था 500 रुपया में S&P 500 और Nifty 500 और क्या चाहिए आपको? Right, you can buy small cap 250, you can buy mid cap 150, you can buy what you like. So I think starting with a broad-based index fund is the simplest way you can start your journey, correct? And then, what is the role for active? Now what happens is that when you talk about active management, most of the time, you debate with somebody about active versus passive, वो debate आपका 2-3 मिनट चलेगा, चौथे 5वें मिनट में वो अमेरिका पहुंच जाएगा, right? Because they'll say, हाँ, but ultimately in the US, there is no alpha. तो अल्टीमेटली वी विल ऑल्सो गो दैट वे, हमारा भी अल्फा नहीं बनेगा. दैट इज़ वेयर आई डिसएग्री. Actually, passives are great for DIY, simplicity. पता ही नहीं है करना क्या है तो पैसिव से स्टार्ट करो, फिर धीमे धीमे सीखो, राइट? पैसिव्स आर ग्रेट फॉर ऑल ऑफ दैट. बट इफ समबडी टेल्स मी कि भाई इंडिया में भी यूएस की तरह, बिकॉज यूएस में अल्फा नहीं बनता है तो इंडिया में भी अल्फा नहीं बनेगा, दैट इज वेयर आई स्टार्ट टू डिफर. बिकॉज आई डोंट बिलीव दैट इंडियन मार्केट is yet comparable to the US experience. And I'll just tell you 2-3 examples. If you see in the US, आपको पता नहीं आश्चर्य होगा, in last 30 years, the market cap has gone up 5 times. Okay, 13 trillion at the peak I think was 65 trillion.
Okay.
But you know, when the market cap has gone up 5x, the number of listed companies has gone down by 40%.
Okay, the Magnificent Seven, Big Four, वो जो
वो डोमिनेट कर रहा है,
correct,
वो सब
correct,
वो डोमिनेट कर रहा है, बट लिटरली द नंबर ऑफ कंपनीज विच वेर लिस्टेड हैज डिक्लाइंड बाय 40%. मतलब समझो कि देयर वर मोर देन 7,000 लिस्टेड कंपनीज इन 1995. एज ऑफ टुडे दैट नंबर इज हवरिंग अराउंड 4,000.
Okay.
ओके, सो इंडिया अभी वो 65 ट्रिलियन पीक पे था, हमारा 5.2 ट्रिलियन पीक पे था. वी हैव मोर लिस्टेड कंपनीज देन यूएस. And
Is that
even
a good
today,
thing
we
or-
are having more listed companies coming to the market than even in US.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing that we have more listed companies?
See, now it's not good or bad. It's about active management.
Okay.
Okay, let's put it this way: that in the US, you are an active manager. तो आपका इन्वेस्टमेंट यूनिवर्स का क्या हाल हो रहा है? इट इज श्रिंकिंग. मतलब आपका कॉर्पस बढ़ रहा है, बट अवेलेबल इन्वेस्टमेंट यूनिवर्स इज श्रिंकिंग. एंड व्हाट इज लेफ्ट इन द यूनिवर्स इज, लाइक यू राइटली पॉइंटेड आउट, दे आर मेगा कैप्स एंड लार्ज कैप्स, विच आर ऑब्वियसली मोर रिसर्च कवरेज, मोर एफिशिएंट. बट इंडिया में क्या हो रहा है? आपका एक्टिव यूनिवर्स का 2-3 हज़ार, 5-5 हज़ार करोड़ का कंपनी लिस्टिंग के लिए आ रहा है. सेव, भुजिया, पोटैटो वेफर वाला, जूता, चप्पल, रेस्टोरेंट, एवरीथिंग इज कमिंग फॉर लिस्टिंग, राइट? सो इन इंडिया, फॉर एक्टिव मैनेजर्स, the universe available is expanding by leaps and bounds.
Okay.
That is first. Second, in the US, the big story is not that money is moved from active to passive. The big story is the money has moved to alternates.
Correct.
People say that US is institutionalized, but who will say, bhai, US is 65 to 70% institutions put their money into alternates. So which means that there, the alpha has not, it's not that active managers are not generating alpha. The reality is that the alpha has moved to the private market. If a company like Uber gets listed at $75 billion market cap, does it mean nobody generated alpha? All the alpha went to the guys who were the institutions in the private equity, the family offices, the rich guys, the big guys, they made the alpha. Correct? In India, the private equity culture is maybe 20 years old, 15 years old. But the private market is nowhere close to the public market. It's still very tiny. In US, by some dimensions, the private market is as big or bigger than the public market. So what happens as markets evolve? One can make a case that the alpha migrates to the institutions because, and you know, institutions invest in private markets and they have access to deals much before it comes to the public, right? So you can make a case that in few years, the alpha will move in India also, alpha will move from public to private. And hence, active managers ka universe might shrink somewhere in future. Currently, or in the near future, we are nowhere there.
Okay.
Nowhere close.
Okay.
Last thing I'll tell you that, you know, you should not worry about the index capturing the market before the market captures the economy. Vast parts of India's economy are not in the market yet. That's why I gave you example, you know, on a lighter note of all those things. Abhi to we are seeing unorganized becoming organized, informal becoming formal. We are seeing corporates consolidating, right? Hospitals, diagnostics, all these are getting formalized and making big chains. So we have a long way to go. I think active and passive both will coexist, but you can't make a case that India में alpha नहीं बनेगा.
आपने न्यूबी इन्वेस्टर्स के बारे में बात किया. जो सपोज कोई इन्वेस्टर 4-5 साल से इन्वेस्ट कर रहा है, शुड दे लुक एट दीज थीमेटिक एंड स्मार्ट बीटा? क्योंकि क्या है ना, वो प्रमोट भी ज़्यादा होते हैं, न्यूज़पेपर में भी दिखते हैं, एड्स भी दिखते हैं, तो उसके वजह से लोगों को भी मतलब समझ में नहीं आता कि क्या करें. क्योंकि मेरे काफ़ी सारे दोस्त हैं जो इन्वेस्ट करते हैं, तो उनके लिए मैं सवाल पूछना चाहता हूँ कि व्हाट शुड दे थिंक अबाउट दीज फंड्स?
See, ऐसा मतलब I think that, you know, there's nothing you're going to miss out if you have zero thematic funds in your portfolio.
ओके.
ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, right? But so, you know, for most people, like I said, couple of flexi cap, multi cap, diversified funds, they'll do the job.
ओके.
It's enough, right? The thing is that there will always be some investors or some part, like, you know, all products are not relevant for everybody, correct? It's just that because there is this tendency that whatever rises to the top of the charts, that is what gets discussed and that is what gets amplified. Hence, people get drawn to it. उसको तो आप कुछ नहीं कर सकते, right? Because it happens in every walk of life. The one who is the outlier or the one who is the top performer is the one who gets highlighted. But that doesn't mean that that is the right fund for you. राइट लाइक इवन इन क्रिकेट अगर आप हर दिन T20 देखोगे तो आपको लगेगा यही बेस्ट बैट्समैन है, लेकिन अगले दिन आप टेस्ट मैच देखने जाओगे तो पता चलेगा कुछ और ही चल रहा है वहाँ पे. सो इट हैपेंस एवरीवेयर. सो इवन विद इन्वेस्टिंग एंड इन विद सेक्टर्स एंड थीम्स देयर इज अ रीसेंसी बायस. जो पिछले थोड़े टाइम में अच्छा चला है वो ही ऊपर 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 लोगों को दिखता है. बट यू डोंट हैव टू गेट द बेस्ट परफॉर्मिंग फंड, यू हैव टू गेट द राइट फंड. एंड अकॉर्डिंग टू मी यू हैव टू गेट कंसिस्टेंसी. You should focus for identifying funds which have consistency rather than identifying the ones which have done the best in the last 1 year or 6 months or whatever. So I don't think any newbie investor or young investor needs to necessarily invest in any theme, because when macroeconomic conditions change, पहले ये थीम चल रहा था, कुछ और चलेगा. आप देखोगे 2021, 22, 23 and even early part of 24, everything which was public policy driven, macro driven, गवर्नमेंट पॉलिसी, PSU, रेलवे, डिफेंस, इंफ्रा, वही सब चल रहा था. पिछले 3 महीने से बैंकिंग, राइट? पहले PSU बैंक्स चल रहे थे, अब बड़े प्राइवेट सेक्टर बैंक्स चलते हैं. सो व्हेन मैक्रोज चेंज, what will work will also change. So you're better off with a diversified fund. Sometimes, thematic funds, there is somebody who's an aggressive investor, enterprising investor. Like I'll give you an example. Let's say you might want to make a case that healthcare is an industry which is set to grow. Example. अब आप देखोगे कि भाई जितने भी BSE 500 में हेल्थ केयर का वेटेज ही 5-6% है, और जितने भी डाइवर्सिफाइड फंड्स हैं ना, उनका भी हेल्थ केयर में वेटेज या तो बहुत कम है, या तो नेग्लिजिबल है, या तो समझो 6-7% है. एंड लेट्स से यू आर अ गाय हु हैज़ दिस सम इनसाइट्स और सम बिलीफ दैट नहीं, आई थिंक हेल्थ केयर शुड बी 20% ऑफ माई पोर्टफोलियो. सो यू इन्वेस्ट सम बिट एक्स्ट्रा इन अ थीमेटिक फंड, राइट? सो दोज काइंड्स ऑफ allocation decisions one can make, but definitely one can't have bulk of their money into thematic funds. And for most people, again repeating, for most people they are just fine with diversified funds. They don't even need to get into thematics.
Just as an aside कि अगर मैं थीमेटिक में डाल रहा हूँ तो मुझे भी एक्टिव होना पड़ेगा कि वो मैं उस पर पैसा कितना ग्रो हुआ है, नहीं ग्रो हुआ है.
And कब एंटर करना, कब निकलना, you have to monitor that, because thematic fund is not like fill it, shut it, forget it. उसकी cycles आएंगी, right? You have to invest in a thematic fund. See, 2-3 things I follow or which I recommend to people. You should always even invest in a theme after it has done badly for 3-4 years. You should not invest in a theme which has been, rip-roaring for last 3-4 years. Correct? Second is you should invest in something which can be called a theme. Sometimes theme के नाम पे बहुत narrow sub-sector भी pass off हो जाता है. Like say transportation and logistics. ये कोई theme नहीं है. मतलब आप क्या 25 स्टॉक का पोर्टफोलियो नहीं बना सकते इसका. Let's say defense. Defense, you can say, okay, it's a subsector of industrials or of manufacturing. Like if you take our diversified funds, तो हमारे diversified funds में भी 15 से 20% allocation is industrials and manufacturing. And we also will be having exposure to some defense companies, because defense is like, I would construe it as a subsector of industrial.
Okay.
But I would not put money in a defense fund. I mean, if you really push me, I would say, okay, if you say that, okay, there is a manufacturing fund or a fund which is investing in industrials, देन आई वुड बिलीव कि हाँ ठीक है भाई, ये इंडेक्स का 15-20% है तो ये बड़ा चीज़ है. लाइक बैंकिंग, लाइक आई सेड हेल्थ केयर जिसका अच्छा फ्यूचर है. सो इफ देर इज समथिंग विच इज़ मेड अप ऑफ मल्टीपल सब सेक्टर्स एंड विच इज़ रीजनेबल थीम, लाइक ब्रॉड बेस्ड, आई वुड स्टिल कंसिडर इट. बट आई वुड डेफिनेटली गिव अ पास टू एनीथिंग विच इज़ अ नैरो, लाइक एट बेस्ट अ सब सेक्टर. मतलब जो इंडेक्स में भी 1-2% जिसका वेट है, मतलब उसका तो यू कांट मेक एनी केस फॉर इन्वेस्टिंग. व्हेन यू इन्वेस्ट एंड व्हेन यू एग्जिट, उसमें आपको टाइमिंग करना पड़ेगा. एंड दैट आई डोंट थिंक एनीबडी विल गेट इट राइट.
अगले क्वेश्चन में थोड़ा सा क्रिस्टल बॉल गेजिंग करना ट्राई करते हैं. अभी वी आर एट अराउंड 65 lakh crore AUM फॉर द MF इंडस्ट्री. अभी सपोज 150 crore तक हम पहुंच गए, बिकॉज इट्स पॉसिबल, बिकॉज पिछले 7 साल में डबल से ज़्यादा हो गया है AUM.
I'll tell you a staggering number. In last 12 years, because I was making some strategy in 2012, so sometimes you remember certain numbers. In last 12 years, it has gone from 180,000 crore equity, has gone from 180,000 crore to more than 40 lakh crores.
Wow.
So it's more than 20 times in 12 years.
So what do you think, how do you think the industry will evolve? ऐसे मतलब from the perspective of a retail investor, उनको क्या देखना चाहिए या आपको क्या चाहिए कि इंडस्ट्री में ये होना चाहिए फ्यूचर में, इन्वेस्टर पर्सपेक्टिव?
I personally feel that, I mean, what I find most appreciable about our industry is that our regulator is very proactive. जैसे I'll give you an example. इसके ऊपर ज़्यादा attention आया नहीं अभी तक, but last month or couple of months back, our regulator made it mandatory that for our equity-oriented funds, we are supposed to disclose something called information ratio. अब क्या है कि सब लोग है ना past return देखते हैं. The tendency है ना 1 year, 3 year, 6 month. So people look at past performance. And past performance का ऐसा है कि भाई it's a fact that like once one of my friends did this analysis that जो फंड पिछले 3 साल में टॉप में है मैं उसमें पैसा डालता हूँ. ओके तो मेरे को तो आने वाले 3 साल में कैसा करेगा उससे मतलब है ना. My criteria for identifying a fund was which is the best performing fund of last 3 years. I saw that and I put money in that. But the next 3 years when I am in the fund, will it be in the top? वो correlation है ना 0 के बराबर है.
Wow.
Last 3 year performance rank versus next 3 year performance rank. If you keep studying it over a time, there is no correlation. That is why the regulator says past performance not an indicator of future.
Okay.
But now what the regulator has made it mandatory is to disclose something called, like I said, information ratio.
Okay.
This information ratio is basically a measure of consistency.
Okay.
Meaning that alpha, meaning how much did you outperform the benchmark, divided by the standard deviation of alpha.
Okay.
मीनिंग कितना फ्लक्चुएट होता है. सो आई गिव एन क्रिकेटिंग एग्जांपल. समझो आपको टीम बनाने का है, ऐसे बैट्समैन ले लो सबका एवरेज 45 के ऊपर है. वो टीम लेके आप कंपटीशन में जा रहे हो, आपको लग रहा है हम जीत जाएंगे, दिस इज द बेस्ट टीम. बट जब आप जाते हो आपको क्या पता चलता है कि अरे सबका एवरेज 45 के ऊपर है, लेकिन जितनी बार मैच होता है ना एक या दो ही लोग हैं जो 45 के ऊपर स्कोर करता है, बाकी सब लोग 0 में आउट हो रहा है. एवरेज 45 के ऊपर है सबका. तो क्या है कि अगर मैं आपको बोलता हूँ चलो 2 बैट्समैन लो, एक का एवरेज 45 है, दूसरे का एवरेज 50 है. जिसका 45 का एवरेज है ना उसका वर्स्ट स्कोर 20 है और बेस्ट स्कोर 70-75 है. कंसिस्टेंट प्लेयर है, कभी डक में आउट नहीं होता है. दूसरा जिसका एवरेज 50 है वो पिछले 5 इनिंग से 0 पे आउट हो रहा है.
Okay.
और उसने 3-4 बार डबल सेंचुरी बनाया है. हाँ, अभी टेस्ट मैच का चौथा दिन है, आपको किसी को नाइट वॉचमैन भेजने का है, किसको भेजोगे आप?
पहले वाले बंदे को.
पहले वाले को. सो इन्फॉर्मेशन रेशियो इज लाइक दैट. इट्स अ टेस्ट ऑफ कंसिस्टेंसी. एंड व्हाट पीपल नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड, जो मुझे लगता है कि इंडस्ट्री विल इवॉल्व एंड इक्विटी म्यूचुअल फंड इन्वेस्टर्स विल डू बेटर इन लाइफ if they learn this, that you need to be consistent and you need managers who are consistent, because you can stick around in your investments. अब कंपाउंडिंग का बात करते हैं ना, तो कंपाउंडिंग के लिए लंबे अरसे के लिए रहना ज़रूरी है. आप लंबे अरसे के लिए तभी रह सकोगे जब परफॉर्मेंस का वॉलेटिलिटी कम होगा. Right, and a measure of consistency is this information ratio. So people need to learn about the right measures of how to evaluate performance. Highest return is not a good measure of performance. Consistency is what people need to enjoy compounding, and I hope that awareness increases. Then people will stay longer. Then ये AUM है ना, it will grow faster.
तो आशीष, हमने अभी बात किया अबाउट द फ्यूचर प्रोस्पेक्ट्स ऑफ द MF इंडस्ट्री. आप कैसे देखते हैं, इज इट लाइक अ स्पेस जो यहाँ पे इन्वेस्टर्स को भी देखना चाहिए इन्वेस्ट करने के लिए? बिकॉज अगर ये ग्रो हो रहा है तो उनका भी मतलब इन्वेस्टमेंट्स ग्रो होगा, ये अगर स्पेस ही ग्रो हो रहा है तो.
सो एक्चुअली थोड़ा इसमें न्यूआंस है. इंडस्ट्री इज ग्रोइंग. Industry grows for 2 or 3 reasons. One reason industry grows is because existing investors, when they become more confident, when they feel that they are earning more and they can allocate more, so existing investors को अच्छे results मिलते हैं, उनकी ability to invest बढ़ती है, उनका confidence बढ़ता है, उनका portfolio appreciate होता है. So one source of growth is existing investors का wallet share और existing investors का assets grow होना. That is one. And the second clearly is how well we are performing, meaning how much is the market rewarding, right? How much appreciation we are delivering in the portfolios. And the third is how many new investors we are able to attract. So क्या है, कुल मिला के इंडस्ट्री तो सेकेंड और थर्ड तो होएगा. मुझे लग रहा है कि आवर स्टॉक मार्केट सिंस 91-92 सिंस लिबरलाइजेशन 14% कंपाउंडेड तो सेंसेक्स का रिटर्न है. अच्छे म्यूचुअल फंड्स का रिटर्न उससे ज़्यादा है. तो सेकंड आउट ऑफ द 3 सेकंड वाला हो रहा है. नए इन्वेस्टर्स भी आ रहे हैं, वो भी आप देख रहे हैं, राइट. द फर्स्ट वन विच इज existing investors staying for longer, getting rewarded. I think there we need longevity and we need maturity. That is where I spoke about, being consistent and identifying managers who are consistent. Actually क्या होता है, people always go for the highest return. और वो highest return है ना, सी क्या होता है, इफ़ यू गो फॉर द एक्सट्रीम्स, मतलब आप समझो एक चीज़ के पिछले एक साल में, थियोरेटिकली पिछले एक साल में इंडेक्स का रिटर्न समझो 15% है. आई एम इन्वेस्टिंग इन अ फंड हु इज़ द बेस्ट परफॉर्मर, उसका रिटर्न पिछले एक साल में 25% है. अब आप समझोगे भाई जो इंडेक्स है, लेट्स से आवर इंडेक्स इज BSE 500. सो BSE 500 इज मेड अप ऑफ एवरीथिंग, राइट. बैंक्स, IT, हेल्थ केयर, कंज्यूमर, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, PSU, प्राइवेट, डिफेंसिव, सिक्लिकल, डोमेस्टिक्स, एक्सपोर्ट्स, लार्ज कैप, स्मॉल कैप, सब कुछ है उसमें. तो इंडेक्स 15% रिटर्न जब देता है तो 25-30% रिटर्न कौन देगा? Somebody whose portfolio is full of only those things which are really doing well in the market, and who has nothing which is a laggard, more or less. और हमेशा ना जब एक 15 और एक 25 है ना, तब कोई ऐसा भी होगा जिसका 10% रिटर्न या 5% रिटर्न आ रहा है या 0 आ रहा है. तो जब एक बंदे का 15 के मुकाबले में 25-30% आ रहा है, तब दूसरे का 15 के मुकाबले में 0 या 5 या 10% कैसे आएगा? तो इसके पोर्टफोलियो में केवल वही चीज़ें हैं जो इंडेक्स में आउट परफॉर्म कर रही हैं, इसके पोर्टफोलियो में वही चीज़ें हैं जो अभी आउट ऑफ फ्लेवर या आउट ऑफ फैशन है. लाइक टेक एग्जाम्पल 2022-23, इंस्टेड ऑफ बाइंग इंडस्ट्रियल्स, स्मॉल कैप्स, PSUs, instead of buying all of that, if you were sitting with private sector banks, तो यही हाल होता ना. Now, where do investors suffer? If you go for the guy delivering the highest return, मार्केट का माहौल चेंज होएगा ना, तो जो पहले जन्नत में था ना, वो जहन्नुम में जाएगा, और जो पहले गड्ढे में था वो ऊपर आएगा. So investors keep chasing the best performer. That's why I also mentioned elaborately that you should chase not the best performer, you should look for the consistent performer. तो 3 reasons for industry growth था ना, उसमें second और third reason पे पूरा confidence है. जो first reason है, which is all related to people staying for longer and enabling their money to grow and not keeping on changing their portfolios, chasing the flavor of the season. That is very important. So I think that needs more and more maturity. More maturity in terms of how managers manage money, more maturity in terms of how we communicate, and more maturity in terms of what is the buying criteria for people. आप कैसे चूज़ करते हैं कौन से फंड में आपको डालना है? आपको हमेशा कोई तड़कता भड़कता लास्ट 1 year टॉप परफॉर्मर चाहिए, कि आपको समझ में आता है कि भाई वी नीड कंसिस्टेंसी? Because only if there is consistency you can stay longer.
Fair enough.
That's the key point.
मुझे ना एक चीज़ आपने जो बोला उसमें मेरे को समझना था कि आपका मैं रिसर्च कर रहा था अबाउट वाइट ओक. आपके एक फिलॉसफी है कि आप SIPs ही लेते हैं, आप लमसम ज़्यादा नहीं लेते हैं आपकी स्कीम में. ऐसा क्यों है, और ज़रूरी है कि वो फिलॉसफी के बारे में थोड़ा समझा दी.
See, there is a reason. Like, see, 2 things I can tell you. This is just born out of my own past experience. Like, we don't have a small cap fund which is open-ended.
Okay.
We were planning to do it, but we cancelled the idea. So, open-ended small cap है ही नहीं हमारा. And mid cap, we have a mid cap fund which invests in mid cap and small cap. But like you rightly pointed out, we take only SIP. We don't take lump sum money. Seriously, we are a financial institution, and financial institutions हो चाहे बैंक, NBFC, mutual fund कोई भी हो, there is this notion of matching the asset and liability, right? Now see what happens in a small cap fund. What is the asset side of the portfolio? We are holding small cap, micro cap stocks. Now there are 2 reasons why small cap is extremely volatile. One reason it is volatile is because ultimately India में जितना market cap है ना, उसका 50% promoter के पास है. मतलब promoter and government is a promoter. It's obvious कि large cap में promoter और government holding थोड़ा कम होएगा. Small cap, micro cap में promoter and government holding थोड़ा ज़्यादा होएगा. So small cap का one reason for volatility is that the liquidity is less. एक तो market cap कम है, वो कम market cap में भी free float और कम है. Right? So by nature, plus obviously these are relatively under-researched, relatively under-covered, less covered. Sectors, मतलब कई small cap companies, they are leaders in their sectors but still they are small cap. क्यों? क्योंकि sector itself is small, तो company भी छोटी है. So there are variety of reasons why small caps are a lot more volatile. सेकेंड थिंग, इवन इन्वेस्टर बिहेवियर मेक्स देम मोर वॉलेटाइल, क्योंकि ये वॉलेटिलिटी है तो द एम्पलीट्यूड इज़ वेरी हाई ना. समझो अब 2018 में स्मॉल कैप इंडेक्स का पीक आया 2018 में. बाय अप्रैल 2020 फ्रॉम द पीक इट वाज डाउन 60%. फिर अप्रैल 2020 से अक्टूबर 2021 इट वेंट अप 4x. फिर 2021 अक्टूबर से मार्च 2023 इट अगेन 40-50% डाउन. एंड फ्रॉम मार्च 23 टू दिसंबर 24 अगेन बिग बम्प अप. अब क्या इतना हाई वॉलेटिलिटी है तो टाइमिंग इम्पॉसिबल है, बट टाइमिंग बिकम्स इवन मोर क्रूशियल ना, बिकॉज वॉलेटिलिटी इतना ज़्यादा है. अगर आप मार्च 2020 में आते वर्सेस अक्टूबर 2021 में आते, जमीन आसमान का अंतर है. सो लॉन्ग स्टोरी शॉर्ट, आई हैव सीन कि भाई स्मॉल कैप फंड में ना रिटर्न आने के बाद पैसा आता है. तो पैसा जनवरी 2018 में आएगा, 2020 में नाराज हो जाएगा. फिर 2021 में पैसा आएगा, फिर 2023 में नाराज हो जाएगा. फिर 2024 में पैसा आएगा, फिर फरवरी 2025 में नाराज हो जाएगा. So money comes at the wrong time. So that's why we never launched an open-ended small cap fund, because it's not good enough to say कि देखो मेरा पिछले 15 साल का CAGR कितना बढ़िया है. आपका CAGR कुछ भी हो, अगर क्लाइंट ऊपर में आता है और नीचे में निकलता है तो क्लाइंट का CAGR खराब ही होने वाला है. So for this reason we never did open-ended small cap, and for precisely the same reason even in mid cap also आप किसी का टाइमिंग इन्फ्लुएंस नहीं कर पाओगे. तो द ओनली थिंग आई कैन डू इज से कि भाई यू ओनली कैन डू SIP. तो आपका टाइमिंग गलत होकर भी कितना गलत होगा ना, एक इंस्टॉलमेंट पीक पे आएगा, फिर दूसरा पीक पे आएगा, तीसरा पीक पे आएगा. अल्टीमेटली आप SIP चलाओगे तो नीचे में भी आपका इंस्टॉलमेंट लगेगा ना. सो यू विल गेट एवरेज परफॉर्मेंस rather than consistently catching the peak and getting disappointed on the way down. It's better that you do systematically. So that is why we've insisted that कि भाई ये lump sum money in an open-ended format. And see, nowadays all these small cap funds are 20, 30, 40, 50,000 crores in size.
उतने stocks भी नहीं है खरीदने के लिए.
हाँ, so then that gets it becomes that much more difficult to change the portfolio construct, right? The cycles become that much more long drawn. So yeah, many reasons. And I think we are very bullish on small cap and mid cap. अगर आप हमारा कोई भी open ended fund देखोगे ना, we think that we have a big team of 33 people, huge investment universe coverage. All that we do, we work very hard. We think we can make absolutely good alpha in small caps and mid caps because of the heterogeneity, because of our ability to do stock picking. So very bullish on small cap and mid cap. But open-ended fund format में small cap चलाना थोड़ा मुश्किल है. So we do only AIFs typically for small cap. We don't do open-ended funds for small cap.
What was the reaction to this decision? Investors ने जब सुना कि आपने closed-ended format में ही देंगे small cap.
There's a big price to pay, for us if I forget the mutual fund CEO, but if I wear my business hat, it's a big price to pay. So say take an example. In last 2-3 years, take 2024. There is industry data, right? Industry data said that 40% of all the money went into small cap mutual funds. तो हमारा तो small cap mutual fund ही नहीं है. तो मतलब कि जो हमारी टीम है, they will tell me ना कि बस ये our founder, myself, our CIO, the leadership team has decided not to have an open-ended small cap fund. So obviously people who are running our business will say ना कि भाई out of 100 rupees, 40 rupees is going in a small cap fund. तुम तो वो fund हमको allow ही नहीं कर रहे हो, कर ही नहीं रहे हो. But then see what do people do? People take money when it is coming, but then they'll give warning. देखो महंगा है, तुम्हारा गलती है, तुम देख लो. अरे भाई, you can't take money and then give warnings. If you think it is not good for the client, then don't do it, na. Right? So that's the thing. And why do we do close-ended? Take an example of a AIF, a close-ended fund. 500, 700, 800. See, AIF is a private placement. उसमें 500-700 करोड़ आएगा. वो भी हम लोग 3-4 ड्रॉडाउन में लेंगे. वो ड्रॉडाउन लेने के बाद फंड बंद हो जाएगा. फिर 5 साल के बाद उसका मैच्योरिटी आएगा. Right? So there's no daily in and out. Nobody is going to get the timing really wrong. Right? उसमें फिर भी जो रिस्क है वो है, but ultimately you will not go wrong because of you came at the wrong time and got out at the wrong time, na? Which happens in open-ended funds. So as a business, sometimes we have to make decisions which will protect the investor and hence protect our brand and also ensure that people don't have a bad experience. That's the point.
Nice. Last couple of questions. आशीष, अभी ये SIFs के बारे में मुझे बात करना था, आपके स्पेशलाइज्ड इन्वेस्टमेंट फंड्स लेटेस्ट इंट्रेंट सेबी ने अप्रूवल दिया है, उसके बारे में थोड़ा हमारे व्यूअर्स को एक्सप्लेन कीजिए कि क्या है, लोगों को कैसे ये प्रोडक्ट को समझना चाहिए, बिकॉज अभी तक वो लॉन्च फेज में है.
Yes. See, one thing is very clear that a lot of young investors and a lot of investors have shown a lot of interest to invest in FNO, for example, right? And FNO, obviously, if not done rightly, it's a speculative instrument. It could become speculative instrument. And mutual funds, if you see, there are certain restrictions in terms of what mutual funds can do by using derivatives. Like clearly, we're not allowed to take any short positions, right? We are only allowed to do arbitrage. We are only allowed to do hedging. But with this specialized investment fund, what the regulator has done is enabled, people who want to invest in FNO, people who want higher usage of derivatives in mutual funds. For them, there are multiple categories which have been created, right? Across large, mid, and small cap space, stocks where FNO, there's a huge universe of stocks where FNO is available. So the regulator has given a lot more leeway in terms of how much derivatives exposure one can have, what kind of strategies. So for example, combination of long equity and derivatives to create long short kind of products, right? Products which can have good, say, absolute return, right? Low volatility and good return, certain combinations which can beat fixed income. So the regulator, through specified investment fund, the regulator has kind of liberalized the usage of derivatives to create different risk return combinations. So I'm sure, we don't have a plan to launch it, but I think it'll pick up slowly and surely. I think and I don't think it'll cannibalize anything from the existing industry. It'll only end up allowing the industry to create more variants of hybrid funds.
Okay. The last question. We were looking at some data internally. हमारा discussion चल रहा था कि जो out of the money options जो रहते हैं on expiry day, some of them go from say 10 rupees out of the money to like say 70 rupees in the money. And वो 70x तक उसका basically, और जितना भी x होगा उसका पैसा multiply होता है. जब कोई investor ये देखता है तो उसको फिर वो long term में invest करो, जो convince करने के लिए आप इंडस्ट्री कोशिश करती है, रेगुलेटर करता है, एम्फी करती है, उसको फिर कैसे समझाएं कि भाई लॉन्ग टर्म में ही इन्वेस्ट टू इंटरेस्टेड रहना चाहिए. आई जस्ट वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड.
इट्स ऑल अबाउट द प्रोबेबिलिटी, राइट? जो आपने बोला, ऑफ कोर्स यू हैव टेकन अ कंप्लीटली आउट ऑफ द मनी, मीनिंग यू हैव टेकन अ कंप्लीटली different bet from what the general expectation in the market is. And you bet on a low probability, high payoff kind of event. So the reality itself is that it goes with low probability, right? Low probability, high payoff. That is what you're talking about. तो मेरे को एक बार किसी wise person ने बोला था कि भाई अगर तुमको if you want to create wealth, it might take you 15 years. But if you're in a hurry, it will take you 25 years. So it's like that, right? So what is the probability that you can buy a diversified portfolio and consistently grow at, say, 12 to 15% compounded? And what is the probability that in the near of expiry, you can multiply your money sustainably? इस बार ये हफ्ते अभी इस बार बेट लगाया और उसमें आपका एक आउट ऑफ द मनी ऑप्शन का खेल बहुत बढ़िया हो गया. But can you do that on a large corpus such that it will change your life? And can you do it consistently? That's the point, right? How many people can consistently make 12 to 15% compounded on any size of corpus? मतलब आप इंडस्ट्री का एग्जाम्पल दे रहे हैं थोड़े समय पहले. तो भाई जब इंडस्ट्री का कॉर्पस 10,000 करोड़ था और जब इंडस्ट्री का कॉर्पस 40 लाख करोड़ है, CAGR उसी रेंज में चल रहा है ना. For 32 years, the Sensex has compounded 12.5% plus dividend yield. इंडिया लिबरलाइज हुआ तब से लेके अभी तक का सेंसेक्स का ये हिस्ट्री है. उसमें आप कॉर्पस कितना भी लगा लो, मार्केट कैप हैज़ ऑल्सो एक्सपैंडेड, इंडियाज GDP हैज़ ऑल्सो एक्सपैंडेड, बट द लॉन्ग रेंज हिस्ट्री इज दिस, राइट? द एग्जाम्पल यू गिव फॉर ऑप्शंस, कैन यू डू इट सस्टेनेबली and on a large corpus such that your life will change? The answer is no.
Okay.
Right? So it's about probability, it is about consistency, it is about scale.
Okay.
If you invest in a diversified portfolio like a mutual fund, or you make your own diversified portfolio, can you generate what is the probability you can generate a good return? What is the probability you can generate consistently? And what is the probability you can generate it on a reasonably sized corpus? such that it will really change your outcomes. That is the point. ये सब जो लॉटरी वाला हिसाब है वो कंसिस्टेंसी और सस्टेनेबिलिटी में नहीं चलेगा ना.
Fair enough. Thank you so much, Ashish, for joining us and having this very interesting conversation.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks for inviting me. My pleasure.
That was a really interesting conversation. I hope आपको बाजार एंड बियॉन्ड का आज का एपिसोड अच्छा लगा. स्पेशली जो वेल्थ क्रिएशन के बारे में आशीष ने इंसाइट्स शेयर किए कि आपको वेल्थ बनाने में 15 साल लग सकते हैं. अगर आपको पैसे बनाने की जल्दी है तो आपको 25 साल भी लग सकते हैं. याद रखिए, आपके फाइनेंशियल गोल्स के अनुसार इन्वेस्टमेंट प्रोडक्ट्स चुनना ज़रूरी है. अगर आपको ये एपिसोड पसंद आया तो वीडियो को लाइक करें और आपके फ्रेंड्स एंड फैमिली के साथ शेयर करें. ऐसे ही और इंसाइटफुल कॉन्वर्जेशंस के लिए एमस्टॉक यूट्यूब चैनल को सब्सक्राइब ज़रूर करें. तो फिर मिलेंगे बाजार एंड बियॉन्ड के अगले एपिसोड में. तब तक के लिए स्टे सेफ एंड इन्वेस्ट वाइजली. हैप्पी इन्वेस्टिंग.
Investments in securities markets are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.